Sal. Thank you so much for joining me today for our Tarot Card Success Live seminar. I'm very excited to be sharing with you lots of wonderful tarot related topics today. So if you are joining me live, please just pop your name and where you're from comment box just so that I know that everybody can hear me. And if you're watching the replay, that means you will be on YouTube. So I do suggest clicking subscribe just so that you always make sure you get these particular tarot seminars, because they are done live in the Facebook group. And I know not everyone can get into the Facebook group. So this is a way that I can share this information with you. And if you're subscribing on my YouTube channel, you'll always get the uploads every month. Hello, Maria from Canada. I hope you are looking forward to your summer. I'm assuming it's getting warmer where you are soon. So I'm going to just quickly share what we're going to talk about today. So today we're going to talk about using tarot with oracle cards and just a few tips on that. We're also going to talk about, do you need to use the tarot every single day to be a tarot reader? We're going to also explore using those kind of readings, and I've been noticing them popping up a lot in our group lately, where you say, you know, to find the answer to your spiritual purpose, find whatever card exists underneath the Hierophant or something like that. So I'm going to talk about better ways to use that, or good ways to use that strategy. I'm also going to talk about full moon eclipses and charging your cards and a few extra tips on that, as well as answering the questions of what cards will signal that a marriage is ending, and just some tips I'd like to give you on that particular very controversial topic, and a topic that you might have even been asked. And I think that's everything. Yes, those questions. Oh, and I'm also going to talk about just a little bit about my new course. And I'm going to be running a competition where you can win. You can read my new course. You can win my new course. So I'm going to be talking about that as well. But before I get started, if anyone else is joining me live, just pop your name in so I can say hello. And I would also just like to say a huge, big thank you to everybody who has taken the time in the past couple of months to write a review of Tarot Card Success or any of my other courses. It really means the world to me. I do read them and I am so incredibly grateful for them, and they really help me be able to continue making more and more and more courses like the one I'm going to release next month. So thank you so much. The ones I noticed particularly this month were Pritmi Jatani, thank you, George Cunningham, Artika Aurora, Amanda Harris and Sean Wilkinson, and everybody else has taken the time to write reviews. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. Sue, hello, lovely. How are you? I think I answered one of your questions last time, or I think I thanked you for your lovely review or something last time. Well, that might have been in How to Be Psychic, but your name is very familiar. So hello, lovely. So I would just like, hello, Wendy. Oh, your beautiful butterfly. So let's get started by talking about oracle cards. And now, as everyone who's in this group, well, most people should know, I do try to limit talking about oracle cards in our Tarot Card Success course and in our Tarot Card Success Facebook group, for the simple, hello Sophia. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to add, those of you who haven't done these before, if you've got questions for me along the way, please, if you could save them to the end, or you can pop them in now. It's just that I won't answer them until the end, because otherwise I go off on random tangents and I don't get the questions asked that other people have asked me before I come on. So yeah, just pop those questions in and I will get to them. And if you see someone doing them, just let them know as well. Say, hey, she does answer these at the end. If someone feels like I'm ignoring them, I'm not ignoring you. It's just that I like to do them all at the end so I don't get distracted by the topics that we are dealing with today. So, as I was saying, so I like to really keep oracle cards off this particular group, our tarot group, and focus it just on tarot. And that's for the simple reason because I have another group called How to Be Psychic that is connected with the How to Be Psychic course, and that's the course that I teach oracle cards in. So I like to keep the two of them separate so students don't get confused. I recently thought maybe I should amalgamate two groups, but I do like that How to Be Psychic's about spirit guides and mediumship and all those topics, and this is just tarot. I think it works really quite well. However, I did want to just answer a question that Kachari asked me this week about, you know, if I'm going to use oracle cards with a tarot reading, how do I do it? And, you know, what's the best way? So I explore this a lot more in the Advanced Tarot program that I do on the Psychic Healing Academy. Like, I actually create sessions for you where you do them both. But just for very briefly for this seminar, because I know it's an important question and not everybody can do that program, I'm just going to talk about how it's not, for me anyway, a good idea to mix the cards all in. That's not how I do them. The reason I use oracle cards with a tarot deck, and I don't do it every time, but the reason I like to is because sometimes tarot cards can be a little bit of tough love. They can be a little bit hard, especially if you're feeling raw and vulnerable or your client's feeling raw and vulnerable. And so for me, I like to add just a little 3-card spread at the end. And you see me do this a lot more in my intermediate level courses that follow this one, like the Love Readings course and in the Career Readings course. You'll see how I'll do a spread and then I might just add a few little ones at the end. I kind of call them homework, so that your client can go away and not only take on board the wisdom of the tarot and what the tarot reading has said and what they might need to do to change, but also to give them just a bit of light and a little bit of hope that comes from their own spiritual journey. So because tarot cards, oracle cards will often say things like, meditate more, or maybe do some work with an energy healer, or this is to do with your past life, maybe get a past life healing and things like that. So that kind of thing can just add some extra information on a healing level that I like to use if I feel like, especially, someone's had a really intense tarot reading. So if someone's got a whole lot of towers and 3 of swords and things like that, I'm like, okay, well, I like to end on a note where they feel like they can take away some more tools to work with, not just, you need to change this, and if you don't change this, you're never going to get happiness. So that's why I like to use them. You don't have to use them, of course. Everyone is different. That's just how I use them. And all I usually will do, and I also like to, especially if it's like ascended masters or goddesses or angels, I like to be like, okay, well, who can you call on to help you with this problem? Like, who can you, to get even more assistance, like from the spiritual realm, how can you get more help than rather than just you yourself? And I'll just pull 3 cards and go, right, these are going to be your 3 guides this month. This is who you need to help work with. And so that's how I tend to use them. But I wouldn't, like, for example, do a horseshoe spread and then halfway through the horseshoe spread start yanking out oracle cards. I wouldn't do that. I keep them both very separate. I stay in the tarot zone and then I just kind of branch out into the oracle card zone at the end. So yeah, that's one of the ways that I like to do it in the way. And again, you don't have to. It's just if you feel it. Some people don't like oracle cards. It's totally up to you. So that is how I would deal with those. And again, my system isn't the only system in the world. Intuitively do it however you feel. And some people here who are with me now might share how they like to do it. There's definitely not just one way of doing readings where you're combining tarot with oracle cards. So I hope that's helped anyone who's had that question before. I will say one thing though. If you are a beginner at tarot, I would just stick to focusing for now on learning the tarot. Like, you really don't want to overwhelm yourself with too much. I noticed that the lovely Star West, who's a very active and enthusiastic and wonderful member of our group, she recently posted a post about how she had these 10 tarot books and she was just feeling overwhelmed by too much information. And that, to me, that's really quite normal when you're learning to become a reader, especially if you want to be a professional, is there's just so much information. So stick to just learning tarot now, and then if you want to bring the oracle cards in, then bring them in at a later date when you're feeling confident with the tarot, I might add. So I hope that has helped. Now, the lovely B. Rucci asked this question this week, and she was asking about something to do with one of those things that I see people sometimes post where, if you get if you want to know what you're meant to do with your career, whatever's under the Empress or whatever's under the High Priestess or whatever's under some other card is the answer. And now for me, can I just say, and this is just my personal opinion, for other people, they might go that they are the greatest readings that ever walked the planet. I use them all the time and I swear on my life on them. For me, I tend to regard those kind of readings with a lot of caution, only for the reason that I've spoken about quite a lot, and that is I'm not into betting my whole life on one card. Like, I know that the lovely B. Rucci, she was talking about how, should she take this leap of faith and change her career, and whatever card lies under that Empress, I think it was, or the High Priestess, is the answer. And for me, I'm like, whoa, like making the decision to end your current career and start a whole new career, that's going to change your life. That one card can never possibly capture that whole journey. Like it just can't. And even the most successful people on the planet will tell you that their successes come from ups and downs. So if you've got a negative card, you might go, well, I won't do that. But it might be that it's negative at first and then it goes more positive. And those of you who have done the How to Give Career Readings and Life Purpose course, the one that follows Tarot Card Success, you'll see how I do that a lot in the sample readings, how I show with clients how I do this thing where like, should I leave this job? And you can see that it's not always happy straight away. Sometimes there's a bit of a rocky balance, which is very normal when you start a new job or a new career. And then it balances out, or they may need to do things and shift it to get a better result. So again, like that's, just to please don't bet your whole life on one card. Like you could probably do really small, cute little readings on that. Like, should I do this Udemy course or should I, little things like that, but definitely not something that is going to dramatically potentially put you in massive financial stress and also leave you a quivering mess if it doesn't work out straight away and you got a positive card and you thought the cards lied to me, which is not what happened. It's just that it might be good, but it might take a while. And as I said, one card can't always capture that. So with those kind of scenarios, I would always do a bigger card spread. I would do what do I need to know about taking a leap of faith, and do the Celtic on this job or career, and do a Celtic cross, or do a horseshoe, or do any other kind of bigger spread that gives you a 12 or 18 month perspective about what will happen if you do this, or what could happen if you do this in the next 12 months. And that way you're getting a better idea about it. And also keep in mind, like say for example, you wanted to run off and be a ballerina, or, go on The Voice and be a singer, and you got a negative card, it might just be not for now. It might be, okay, yeah, but it's going to be in 4 years' time. Now, the card won't necessarily say that. So that's why I like to do bigger things. Okay, what do I need to do now to get what I want? Those to me are much better cards at showing the fuller journey. So I hope that's helped anyone who wondered a little bit about that. But definitely use them. They're fun little readings to do. Just keep them more for less of those game-changing questions that are going to throw you into a total crisis if it doesn't turn out the way you're hoping it is. So I hope, hello Jenny, how are you? So now I would like to talk a little bit more about daily tarot, because I know obviously in this course, in Tarot Card Success, one of the things I recommend is that you are doing daily tarot, and that's a way to get really good and it's a way to improve your skills. But Amrita asked this question like, well, do I have to? What if I don't have time? And what if I get sick of the tarot, And he was obviously a bit anxious about that. And for me, I was like, okay, don't freak out and think you have to do everything I say, for example, but also it's really important that you go, okay, that's only if you want to get really good really fast. Like, if you don't have time, that's totally okay that you can't read tarot every day. I'm not expecting you to do that. I'm expecting you to go, okay, well, what's the best way I can learn tarot more quickly? Then, okay, practicing one card a day and starting at the beginning of the day and then reflecting on the end is the best way. But not everybody has the time to do that. And trust me, like I don't always read tarot every single day. Like I read it now as I need it. So giving yourself that gift of not feeling that pressure that you have to do everything that someone recommends, whether it's me or whether it's someone that you're following on YouTube or another tarot teacher, like whoever it is, like don't feel like you have to do that, and if you don't do that, you're never going to be a great tarot reader, because that's not the case. These are just tips and recommendations about, yes, how you can accelerate your learning journey, but it doesn't have to mean that you're not going to be good if you don't do it every day and some mean tarot god's going to come down and thump you on the head with a big stick. Like, not at all. It's just a great way of starting to practice it, but you don't have to do anything. There's nothing for me that you have to do every day. I will be very honest with you. I'm not very good at people telling me I have to do things every day. Like brushing my teeth, my relationship with my dentist is the thing that I do every single day. That's about it. Like other things I try to do every day, but if I don't, I'm not going to knock myself out about it, because we all have very busy lives. Okay, so I hope that's helped. Lovely. Hello, Lakshmi from Bangalore, India. Lovely to meet you. So now what I'm going to talk about is a little bit about the full moon. There's been a lot of the eclipse questions coming up. Now, as I mentioned previously, I do like to keep our group here just about tarot and how to be psychics, where I more talk about things to do with astrology or full moon crystals and charging and going into psychic protection and things like that. But I will say, because someone did ask this and a few people also asked it, about charging your tarot cards. For me, full moon is great, definitely, but I would never charge my tarot cards personally under an eclipse, because eclipse energy is intense energy and it is more of a time to just reflect and try to let go of. It's not activating energy, it's releasing energy, especially like a moon eclipse. If you think about what the moon is a time of rest. It's not a time of supercharge forward. So I tend not to use eclipses to charge my crystals or anything. Like I tend to just go, okay, this is a time, and I don't know about you guys, but this eclipse was really rough for me. Anyway, it was like two eclipses within a retrograde Mercury. That was a rough ride energetically for me, physically, symptoms wise, and just struggling on some days. But sometimes just knowing that's what's going on is like, okay, well, I don't need to explode. Just keep myself calm and allow myself to rise above this and know that I'm just letting go. I had very intense dreams of my past and exes and, just letting it all go. It's all, that's what eclipse season's about. It's not activating and taking big actions, especially during a retrograde Mercury. So I hope that's helped anyone who's wondered about what to do during eclipses with your tarot cards. You can charge things during the full moon, but definitely I wouldn't with an eclipse. Okay, thank you guys. It's so lovely to have so many people here. Hello. So what I'm going to talk about now is Aditi asked the question. Now, she actually asked this in the Love Readings course. That's the intermediate level course, one of the ones that follows this course on how to give psychic love readings and how to give tarot love readings. And she said, which cards will symbolise, or which cards will let me know to my client that their marriage is going to end? Now, I talk about this a lot in this course. And the first thing I'm going to say, that if you are a beginner and you've only just done tarot card success, you're only starting, someone asks you about, will my marriage end? I would highly, 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 highly recommend you please do not answer those kind of questions. Like, that is an incredible question to answer when you are a beginner. That's a lot of pressure on you. And the problem when someone tells you, yes, your marriage is going to end, is that it will set, no matter who you are, like I would say maybe in less than 10% of the cases, like it's going to set someone off on a massive spiral. They're going to be like, oh, what's going to happen to my kids? And how am I going to pay the rent or the mortgage? And am I going to have to get another job? And what am I going to tell my family? And, you're suddenly going to send someone on a massive fight or flight, chaotic, nervous breakdown. And the thing is, they might be just negative cards that say, yeah, there's a cycle of your marriage that is coming to an end. That could mean forever, or it could mean for now. But to straight out and tell someone your marriage is going to end, that's it, it's over. For me, I would personally never do that to somebody, because and I'm an experienced reader, but especially if you're a beginner, and also when you're inexperienced, you don't see the nuances. And it's very natural to want to think, okay, there should be a list of cards that says definitely 100% this marriage is going to end, because this is why my client has come to me. Tarot is so much more complex than that. And I talk about that a lot in the Love Readings course, about how it's more complex than that because relationships are more complex than that. Relationships are not black and white. They never are. Like, there's always things we need to learn in them. And there's always the destiny thing. And I've often talked about this before. Like, if you said to someone, yeah, this marriage is going to end, but they're meant to, hello, Francine, but they're meant to have a child with that person. Like, it might be that you're not meant to know the marriage is meant to end because, they might need to be together for another 3 years and their second child is born, and that child was always meant to be born. Like, destiny plays a role in our tarot readings as well. It's not just yes, no, marriage will end. And, and I talk a lot about that when thing. Like, it's so tempting to want to be a fortune-telling tarot reader because that's what your clients want. Unfortunately, it's not what your clients need. What your clients need is to know how to empower themselves so that they can make the best decisions about their marriages or about their careers. They don't need to be told that the end is nigh and it's an apocalypse and it's doom and gloom. without any tools to be able to improve the situation. Now, again, this is just my personal opinion of tarot and my years of reading. You may feel differently, but part of the challenge of being a tarot reader is to get yourself comfortable with having to say to your clients, look, why don't we ask the questions, what do I need to know about my marriage ending? And if negative cards are coming in there, then okay, yes, maybe you will walk away. But it might not be forever. And one thing that anyone who's been married or anyone who's been in a serious relationship knows, there is a massive percentage of people who walk away from their relationships and their marriages or their boyfriends and their girlfriends and get back together. So things can end and then you can reconcile. Like I have a whole section about, will we get back together, and that reconciliation and heartbreak questions in the love readings course for that reason, because it does, relationships go up and down, and that can go on for years. I talk about my dearest friend who, her and her partner were together from when they were 16 till they were 30, and then they broke up and got back together when they were like in their late 30s, so to say that was going to end is things do get back together. So cards that do suggest, and so I said this to her as well, to Aditi, there are cards that do suggest that there's going to be an ending, okay? So something like the Eight of Cups, someone's going to walk away. The Three of Swords, death in particular. The Tower, so something's going to crash and crumble and not work out the way you want it to work out. And that might be, not having a happy marriage. That doesn't mean it won't get pulled back together, okay? And so that's all you need to be looking for in your readings is yes. And so that's... Personally, for me, I would never say 100% your marriage is going to end to someone. And I know of a friend who was told that, yes, it's going to end. And what happened is COVID hit. There's plenty of these stories. And they ended up locked up with their partner. And they ended up actually really discovering that they loved and cared about each other. And there was a whole lot of, and so she was ready to walk away, but something happened and they stayed together. And, that was a few years ago, and they might end up breaking up, but they found a new level of connection and commitment in their relationship. And so maybe it will end, but it might be 3, 5, 10 years down the track. And who knows what beautiful gifts the universe and destiny will give you along the way. So I hope that's helped those of you who have been asked those questions before. Will my marriage end? And can I just say about that question as well, it's such an interesting one because sometimes you get asked by people who the marriage isn't even in any trouble. We are very strange, and I think it's because, as humans, and I think it's because we watch so much, Netflix and movies about, partners betraying each other and horrible divorces where people lose their kids. And so sometimes a marriage won't even be in trouble and someone will come looking for a fortune-telling answer, like, will my marriage end? Is it going to end? And there's not even any problems in the relationship. So I talk about this a lot more in the love readings course. If you're inexperienced, this can be very intense. Because someone might say, well, wait a minute, we're not having problems. Are you saying, oh my God, is he, and you can freak people out. It's really important to get used to asking your client, is the relationship in trouble? Or are you feeling like you want to walk away? And people go, well, you're psychic, you should know this. But sometimes it's not always clear, especially if the client is conflicted or if it's confusing. Like, as I said, if someone comes, say Cheryl comes to you and Cheryl's marriage is doing fantastic, and she says, is my marriage going to end? And you're like, oh my goodness, well, it looks, wow, And you're thinking, there must be problems, but actually there's no problems. So she's just fortune-telling hunting. So I know that I don't want to scare you, but that can happen. So just get used to saying to your clients, okay, how long have you been feeling this way? Or a little question like that. You're not digging, you're not trying to be super psychic of the year, you're just trying to get a feeling of them, of how they feel right now in the moment. So I hope that's helped people with cards. There is, cards that will recommend, yes, things might change, death in particular. However, don't necessarily mean it's forever, and I would never tell my client 100% that's it, the relationship's over. Go get a divorce lawyer as soon as you walk out of my office. I would never do that. Okay, so I have one more topic to cover, and then I'm really happy to take any questions that you have. Before I do, I would just like to give a very big shout out to our lovely Francine, who just popped in. Francine has been working really hard over the past couple of months as a moderator in the group. I received a fantastic email where she really helped someone and went out of her way to, and so I want to thank you live. And Francine, thank you so much for all you do for the group. It's not an easy job being a moderator. It can be a very thankless job at times because, especially with a group such as ours with over 9,000 people in it, there's a lot of rules and people forget rules, and rules can be confusing, and different Facebook groups act differently. So being the one that says, sorry, you can't post that, and sorry, can you please edit that, and sorry, and constantly apologising for feeling like the bad guy and the cop is not a fun job. I thank you so much, Francine, for doing it, because without her right now, this group would be hard for me to manage, because obviously I can't be here every single day. And I'm definitely, a lot of people here from the US and Canada, and that's you guys are online often when I'm asleep. So thank you very much, Francine. You've been amazing. And she is our gorgeous moderator. She has been amazing. And thank you. And you've got a big, massive shout out. Thank you. So on that topic of confusing rules and things that seem confusing in groups, somebody recently reached out to me about and feeling really anxious and a bit concerned, and wanted me to take some action because they felt like they'd been blocked by someone else because they weren't chosen for a reading, and they reached out to them. So someone in the group, a couple of people in the group had said, hi, I'm offering free readings, please PM me. And they PM'd them and never heard back from them again. Now, can I first say, and I know this is confusing and, that person felt like they weren't being supported. Can I just say, it's a group with 9,000 people. Now, as a result, whenever someone offers to do a free reading, they're probably going to get about 90 requests. And obviously, nobody has the time to reply to every single DM. I know the DM system is not perfect. It's the best way that we can conserve our privacy and not clog up the feed. But you can imagine what it would be like if you received 90 messages from people saying, yes, please, I saw your thing on Tarot Mastery. Can I please have a free reading? Of course, you can't reply to all 90. So that's why if somebody doesn't choose you, it's nothing personal. It's just that they might only have time for 3 or 5 readings. And so they've chosen their people, and that's it. Those of you who are doing readings, obviously, please go off and turn off your commenting just edit your post or delete it once you've got the people you need. But yeah, I know it's easy to get hurt when you feel like no one's choosing you, but keep in mind that the statistics are quite low of getting chosen, because there's just 9,000 people in the group, and there's probably only a very limited amount of people giving away free readings. However, I will say, if you really want a free reading, like if that's something that's really important to you, someone keeps messaging me, it's probably my sister. I don't know who it is. If you're hearing that, I'm very sorry. If you are feeling that you really want a free reading, because keep in mind, it's not a free reading group. This is not the purpose of the group. Sorry, I'm just checking in case that's Francine. Francine, are you messaging me to tell me my internet's gone off or something? Just let me know. Technical difficulties, very typical of retrograde Mercury. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just checking. No, it's my sister-in-law. Sorry. We have a family thing. Okay, so she's laughing at me. Technical difficulties are just that my phone, I forgot to disconnect it from my computer. That's my own technical difficulties. So keep in mind, this isn't a free reading group. That's not the purpose of the group. The group is to help people practice tarot. That's the whole purpose of it. I am not a fan, personally, of people who just come in here and give away free readings without asking for feedback. I'd really rather you didn't. I really would, because there's thousands of Facebook groups where you can do that. This group is to help you learn tarot and improve your tarot. I'm also not a fan, and obviously, as you know, you can be removed if you're only here using people for free readings. I'm not, that's a way to get kicked off as well. I can't. For me, I'm so protective of our beautiful readers. I have been taken advantage of as a reader. I know how that feels. And so it's really important for me that you are not treating this group like your own personal ATM of free readings. Please give feedback to people. if they give you a reading, and give them detailed feedback. We've got a feedback template. There's plenty of systems in place for you to do that. So yeah, if you are someone you're thinking, oh no, like I haven't been chosen and I'm feeling, and you're taking it personally, it's not personal. It's just that person's probably gotten 90 requests for a free reading. And if they haven't replied to you, the reason why is because they're too busy doing all these other readings. So again, if you block someone because you feel like, they're harassing you, please don't do that. Just let them know. Just say, hey, sorry, I've just got too many on. Try again. I'll offer them again another week, and leave it at that. I don't like hearing about people being blocked for things, but I also understand when our beautiful readers can't reply to people. There's just too much going on there for them to be able to do that. But I will say, if you want a reading and that's something you're really keen for and you need help with the reading, then offer one up first. Say, I would love to do an exchange. People are always keen for exchanges. You're not competing with 90 other people to get the free reading. You do an exchange. Say, hey, I'd like a reading and I'd like to give one an exchange. That to me is my best and favourite way in this group, and the biggest kind of purpose of the group for me is to practice on each other. That's where I feel like the growth and the equal balance of exchanging is serving you and serving the group. So that's my personal favourite. So if you need a reading, then just offer to give a reading and say, hey, I'd love to do an exchange with someone. And that way you can get a reading and you're also practicing tarot. You're not just getting free readings. So I hope that's made a bit more sense. I know that was a bit of a sensitive issue for someone this week. So I hope if that's happened to you and you felt angry or anxious or that you're not being supported because people aren't choosing you, best way to do it is actually offer to exchange, and then you'll get one too. Now, I'm releasing a new course next month. I'm very excited. It's been a long time coming. So it's going to be a course that's going to help you read the cards if you have struggle memorizing them. So some of you might remember a few years ago I did a webinar, and this webinar was about it's basically that topic. It's about how, some quick little tricks and techniques to help you read the cards if you struggle to memorize each one individually. Hello, Liz. Now, what I wanted to do with this course, it's just a short little kind of masterclass that I am going to put on Udemy, and it's just going to help you if you struggle to memorize the cards, or if you're feeling tired, or if you're feeling like, oh my goodness, I don't understand this reading, and it gives you little quick glimpses, little intuitive hits to be able to read the cards a bit more, and get more accurate readings if you're struggling and you're like, I don't remember that definition. So just to be really clear to everyone, it's not that was like a 30 or 40-minute masterclass I did. So if you're thinking, well, I did that a few years ago, do I need to do it now? It is an expansion. It's going to be a few hours long. So it's not just that masterclass. I've got a whole lot of activities. I've got a tarot planner in there for you so that you can get in there and you can actually workshop this out for yourself, like what I'm teaching you on a special tarot planner. And I'm also going to make the tarot planner available for those of you who don't have PDF devices. I know that it can be difficult for those of you who have Samsungs, and you might be doing the course on a Samsung because you can't get PDFs. So I'm going to make it so that you can get things on a link and you just click it and download it as well. Liz, but it also, for those of you who are in my advanced tarot and psychic business training program, I want to reassure you it's not any content from there. So those of you who are enrolled in that program on the Psychic Healing Academy, the 3-month one, it's not that. It's just a totally different little quick glimpse thing as part of that. So I'm excited. It's coming out next month. It's been a long time. I've had some retrograde Mercury microphone issues, which I have just fixed this morning. I'm hoping it'll be out by the end of the month. That's what I'm hoping. But I will be running a competition. So I'm going to pop in where you can win the 10 copies that are going to go out there for free. So I will keep you posted on that. So so just keep an eye out for me. I'll pop in here and share that at the beginning of the month, like probably about June the 1st. So I hope that's going to help everyone. Very excited about this. As I said, it's not a substitute for Tarot Card Success. Some of you might be thinking, well, Sal, why should I do Tarot Card Success? You're going to teach me this other course. This is a course that is just if you are doing Tarot Card Success, or you've done Tarot Card Success, or you've done even one of my intermediate level courses, and you still on love readings and health readings, and you still feel like you're struggling to remember each card. It's just a couple of little techniques and a planner and like a little diary to work through with, and just some deeper explanation of the tarot and how you can do it with a little bit more intuitively if you're not someone who can remember them, but still try to remember them is what I'm saying. So, speaking to us, hello. Whenever I read for myself or my partner, I only resonate with them, but with other strangers or anyone else, I get cloudy readings and feel anxious. Okay, so that is quite common, and it's usually about the pressure to perform. Really, that's what it is. There are a number of things you can do. Well, there's two solutions. The first thing is you might be someone who's never meant to read for anyone but yourself or your partner. But if you want to be a professional and you do want to expand, I do suggest looking at your anxiety around feeling like you have to be perfect, or feeling like you're going to be judged if you get it wrong, or feeling anxious that you're not going to get messages, because there could be a few things going on here. The first thing is it could be a past life. So you might have been someone who read publicly, you might have been the village reader or the village healer in a past life, and you were hurt because of it. You might have been punished or prosecuted or put in jail. And so there's a part of you that only wants to play small with your readings. You're like, well, I'm happy just, I can open up my tarot for those that I trust, but anyone that I don't know, they're going to hurt me. So that could be a past life block. I have a course on Udemy that's wholly dedicated to that exact topic, because I know it's quite common for people that are giving readings at that particular thing where they feel like if they go public or they do it when it's not just someone they trust, then they're going to be persecuted. And so that's called Remove Blocks to Your Psychic Power with Past Life Therapy. So I can recommend that. That's a really great process that I've done with a lot of clients over the years who had that exact block. So people that were coming to see me for healing sessions, I would do this session with them. So it teaches you about those blocks and vows and curses and blood oaths and things that you might have done to prevent yourself opening up. Or if you're thinking, look, I don't really think that's it, then I have another course called Boost Your Psychic Gifts with EFT Tapping, and it's solely about releasing the fear of being judged. It's a very gentle process. You don't have to do a guided meditation. It just helps you release those fears and those doubts and anxieties that you're not going to get it right, or you're going to be exposed and things like that. So past life or present life, either of those. Some people like to do both, but I would explore those, and I'd explore that option for you as well. It's quite normal and natural, so please don't worry. It might take a little bit of time, I will say that, to go through it and to practice and to build up your confidence. This place is a great place. I do recommend, if you are going to start doing it, say to people, hey, I'm a really nervous beginner. I feel like I might have a few blocks, but I just want to give this a try. And then you'll have someone who's gentle to work with. So I hope that's helped, lovely. Let me know if it does. And if you're looking for those courses, you can just find them on Udemy as well, or you can find them on my website, www.saljade.com/Udemy courses. Marcy, do you carry your favourite tarot cards with you daily, like in your purse? No, I don't. Like, for me, the way my gifts kind of work, because I don't do kind of, oh my goodness, I need to do a reading on myself right now. I kind of need, a lot of the time, a very quiet, sacred space to go in and do my readings. And don't get me wrong, I've done them in shops, I've done them at Mind Body Spirit festivals where there's been lots of people around. But for me, I wouldn't kind of dash into the toilet and do a reading. That's not how, because it takes a bit of while for me to clear my energy and get myself in the zone. So I don't do that, no. But if you feel comfortable doing it, definitely do that. Having said that, when I go away and when I travel, I always take some with me. Yes, like I had them with me so that if I need a little bit of spiritual companionship or I need some divine insight, I can pull them out with me. So I hope that's helped. But my tarot cards tend to stay in my beautiful little shrine in my room. How to read tarot for health questions, Maria. So I have a whole course on that. So it's called Master Health Readings and Psychic Wellness. I really actually don't recommend as a beginner that you give health readings, because you've got to remember that you're not a doctor, and legally you can get yourself in a lot of trouble, or you can physically cause people a lot of harm. Like, you can freak people out. It does help if you've had a bit of experience. Like, I would finish this course first, feel confident in the topic, the general 3 topics that I cover in this first and then move on to health readings. So I have a whole course, it's like about 5 hours on Udemy called Master Health Readings, and it also has psychic wellness in it, which is all about how to keep yourself really protected in the long term if you plan to be a psychic reader professionally or a tarot reader professionally. So I recommend that. That's how you read them, is to make sure you feel confident first with the cards in general questions, and then maybe think about doing a course like mine, because otherwise you can get yourself into all sorts of confusion, but also legal trouble. Hello, Mercedes. Lovely to see you, gorgeous. Hello, Myrna. Sorry. Okay, so they wrote, how can I not know how to say that? I know that name. I have a friend with that name. Sorry, I'm having a retrograde Mercury thing. So I hope that's helped everyone. Has anyone got any other questions for me? Now, again, if you are joining me on the replay, that means you're on YouTube. So just don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to get them, oh, the best classes. Thank you, lovely. If you want to get these every month when I do them. And if you are not, some of you might be popping in going, hey, she's not answering my question. It might mean because I'm not live anymore. So that's all right. Just tag me. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. This has been so much fun, and I hope that has helped everyone. Those of you who have jumped in late, we talked about today about using oracle cards with tarot cards. Do you need to use tarot every day? If you like, how to use tarot when it comes to full moon and eclipses. We talked a little bit about how to answer questions that are just one card questions, especially like if it's like what is the answer to pulling something out under one card in a deck. And we also looked at what are the cards that symbolise a marriage is coming to an end and how to answer these kind of questions. So I hope that's helped, lovelies. Thank you, Francine. And a big shout out to my wonderful Francine, who is our moderator. If you ever need something and I'm not in the group, please let her know. And also, I know this gets confusing as well, I'm not always in the Facebook group. So if you need me, please go to the Q&A board. Or if it's more personal, just go to my website, which is www.saljade.com, and click on contact. And there's 5 different categories that you can choose from as well for that. Okay, so hello, Gian. How are you? One of my lovely one-time students from New Zealand. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Sophia. Thanks, everyone, so much for coming. And I will be popping in about an hour to answer if people have come in the meantime, and answering any questions for people. And I hope everyone has enjoyed them. And I will see you next month, where I will be announcing and launching the new tarot course, which is going to help you read tarot even when you're struggling to memorize all the cards. If I need you, I can message you. Thank you. Thank you, Francine. If people heard that, oh, sorry, getting pins and needles. I usually sit on a chair, but the light's a bit funny today. So I'm showing you a little bit how filming works. So I'm actually sitting on the ground. Shannon, you can go back and rewatch it again, because I'm still live right now. So you can actually go back and rewatch the whole thing again. It's about, 42 minutes long. So you can watch it again. Or if you want to watch it later, you can watch it on my YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone, so much. And I look forward to seeing you again next month when I launch the course and running the competition to give away 10 free copies. Mwah! Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.